audio for that?
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Live at the Waterhole. My name is Carrie Dupree, and I am joining you today from Oldonyo over in Kenya to start the show. Lovely to have an oryx, giraffe, and a nice big elephant bull waiting to start the show with us today. Looks like a nice cloudy day over in Oldonyo, Kenya. What a lovely day. Good to see the sun is out and shining. So just a reminder, folks, that this is a live and interactive show, so please feel free to join in the conversation, pop me some questions. Dying to hear what you would like to know about some of our locations. So if you want to send through your questions, you can use the QR code on screen, or you can also head over to Twitter or X, as well as our YouTube channel. Don't forget to use the hashtag WildEarth. This giraffe is making sure he's blocking out the elephant from us, giving us the better view, he thinks. What a lovely way to start the show. I think there was also a single giraffe and a solo elephant here yesterday afternoon as well. Not sure if they're the same ones, but lovely to start the show. I'm glad that the elephants are sharing this waterhole with the giraffe. Sometimes elephants can be quite boisterous at these watering holes. So if you were with us on the show yesterday, it was quite an exciting show. So we had a little baby zebra that was actually stuck in the mud at Tau Lodge. So it was quite unusual. We saw a zebra on its own. I thought it was just a solitary stallion, but it was actually a female that was, desperately waiting for her little baby that was stuck in the mud. I was very worried that, this little zebra might not make it out of the mud. It was very badly stuck. Its poor head, it was kind of, bobbing its head into the mud. Oh, we've got a jackal. Check, there's a little jackal just on the right-hand side. Cool. But it was definitely a happy ending. Super glad that that little baby zebra got rescued. There was a reserve team that came in and managed to get the zebra out of the mud, and the baby zebra was reunited with its family. I think some of the individuals in the herd were a little bit afraid at first. He looked like a little rhino with all that grey mud on him. It's not really recognizable as a zebra when he got out of that mud. So yeah. And look, our little jackal has also come in for a drink. Must say, I do see a lot of jackal here in Oldonyo during the day. It's probably my third or fourth time seeing a little jackal joining us at the watering hole. Whoop, got a bit of a fright from the elephant there. This is a black-backed jackal. He's a little bit nervous coming down for a drink. Looks like a youngster, still a bit small. Great to see these black-backed jackals out during the day. Normally they're kind of at their denning sites during the day, resting up. Generally, mostly a nocturnal species, so really awesome. He's having a good lap. So perfect habitat here in Oldonyo for the black-backed jackal. Another name is also referred to as the acacia jackal, as they are normally quite closely associated with dry acacia savannas. But it can also kind of occupy upland veldt as well as mountain, coastal, desert regions. So yeah, they have quite a diverse kind of range that they do occur in. And this jackal is omnivorous, as with most jackals. He must be quite thirsty after a long night of activities. Z, definitely agree with you there. Two very gorgeous mammals to start the show, very large land mammals. And of course, what a cool way to start the show with a jackal. You don't get that very often. Mercedes-Benz, happy Wild Wednesday. I hope it is a wacky Wild Wednesday for everybody today. And as with most jackal sightings, they're generally quite fleeting, in and out, come for a drink, and off he goes. So I had quite a cool encounter with some jackal at Mabula. It was like a territorial pair of jackal that had a newcomer into the area, and they were all running and chasing each other about. It was quite entertaining to watch these jackals chasing each other around for about 20 minutes. Of course, by the time they came live with us on the Sunset Safari, they kind of disappeared a bit. So dive bunny, yeah, I didn't realize that you could refer to this jackal also as an acacia jackal. So you can find this information in the Kingdom Mammals book or the Kingdom Mammals app. It's a very good recommend. You can either buy the hard copy, which is great, or if you want just easy to travel around, you can buy the Kingdom Mammal app online. Oh, I'm not too sure how much it is, but you can find it on your Play Store, and it is worth every penny. Very, very good mammal app, Kingdom Mammals. You can see this elephant. I think that is where the outlet pipe there might be, or there's definitely some fresh water coming in there, because you often see elephants kind of trying to get into this specific spot to suck up some nice fresh water. Yep, looks like we're having some slight challenges with our camera here. Sorry, folks, the old Donyo cameras do give us a little bit of trouble from time to time. We're still with our little elephant, well, big elephant. So also some news from the African camera world. We were talking about the other day the black eagles that are nesting in the Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens here in Johannesburg. And funny enough, we were just chatting about it the other day, and on my newspaper yesterday, I saw there was actually an article about the fledging of the chicks from the nest of those black eagles at the Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens. I believe there is a Africam camera that does also follow these birds. So if you want to check that out after the show, You might get a glimpse of their little chick if you're lucky. So pretty cool. It's around the corner from my house, and maybe I'll pay them a visit, go see if I can get a glimpse of the little black eagle chick. So they are very special eagles, these black eagles. That's why they've got a camera on there. So in some areas they have been completely got a Oryx also joining us for a drink. So in some areas they've been completely wiped out. Yeah, there's only probably about 10,000 black eagle actually left in Africa, and they're very specific to their habitat because if there's not enough food for them and not enough nesting places, then they generally wouldn't be able to live in a specific habitat. So yeah, very beautiful eagle. If you've got Google next to you, go give a Google black eagle. So their distribution is obviously in within Africa, so you do get them in Asia as well. It's pretty cool. Quite a few countries that they actually occur in, not just in Africa. Interesting. Do get them in the Himalayan mountains as well as Western Ghats black eagles. So they do like to breed in tropical or subtropical areas. Very cool. So I'm guessing these black eagle, they're kind of the right size to feed on some monkeys. So they'll often feed on prey on monkey species. They'll also raid other birds' nests. They're also feeding on sometimes squirrels and many smaller bird species as well. All right, why don't we head across to Tembe Elephant Park, see what else is waiting for us in Tembe. And we have an elephant pool party on this wild Wednesday. What a lovely place to have a swim for this elephant. Oop, you can also hear our little bee eaters and southern masked weavers coming. Oh, this elephant's having a great time. I think I'm going to go jump in the pool just now too. Looks like a perfect place to be on a sunny Wednesday afternoon. So, brown hooded kingfisher vocalizing, also calling. Catherine, Wild Dog Wednesday would be great. Praying for some wild dogs. Imagine if we had some wild dogs just running into this watering hole right now, or chasing a nyala or impala through the pan. Cool. It'd be a perfect pan for wild dogs to use. They often chase their prey species into water to help track them. Wait for them to come out, especially kudu. Here's our woolly-necked stork. It was quite an overcast day yesterday. We've had a lot of rain around southern Africa. It's been looming, lurking around the KZN provinces. So nice to see that everywhere, all of our locations are experiencing some nice sunshine today. Perfect place to go and have a nice scratch on this big acacia tree after a swim in the mud. My first time seeing elephants swimming in the main pan. Most of the time I've seen the elephants having a good old pool party in the kind of more reeded, swampy side of the pan. Looks like we've got one of the similar individuals. I think we've seen this elephant here before. There's one of the elephants on the second from the left that's got a bit of a kind of broken off trunk. Doesn't have a full trunk. I think we've seen them here before. Shame. It does happen quite often with elephants. They can either get their trunks caught in snares, or I have actually seen some elephants that have gotten an infection in their trunk, so they sometimes can get very nasty acacia thorns stuck in their trunk, which can cause a bit of an infection, and they can end up losing parts of their trunk. Jive Bunny, it definitely is an elephant spa day today. Lots of rubbing and scrubbing. Lovely to watch these elephants just going about their day. He's going to give himself a nice bottom scratch now. And that tree is perfect. So if you went up to that tree and gave it a bit of a feel, you'd feel how smooth it is from the elephants. Many, many, many years of elephants rubbing on these trees. Oop, there's our floppy-eared friend. Hello, Mr. Floppy. We've also seen him here a few times. He's got a very floppy ear on the left-hand side. So sometimes this does happen with elephants. Their cartilage can either be damaged or broken, and it kind of causes their ear to flop forward like that. Yeah, poor guy. Can happen while they're while they're fighting or moving through trees or vegetation. Does happen from time to time. Oh, look at this guy having a good old bum scratch. Look, we've got some impala that have come to join us. I feel like today we should do another bird day. It's been a while since I've done a birding checklist for Live at the Waterhole, and today's my last day of Live at the Waterhole for this week. So I think we should do a birding day. Please, folks, if you do hear, we'll do sight and sound, I think. Always makes it fun and interesting. So I think my record of birds in one Live at the Waterhole session, 28. Cool, folks. So I'm going to be taking a checklist of all the birds we find today. That's one of my favorite things I love doing when sitting at a watering hole or at a hide when things are a bit quiet or you're just watching the animals. It's always a great idea to do a bird checklist. If you're looking for an app to kind of organize your checklist, you can use the eBird app. It is a great offline application that you can actually use that's free in order to record your birds. But for now, just going to be writing them down. So if you hear any birds, please let me know. So far we've already got the little bee eater, woolly neck stork, the masked weavers. What else? Look, we have brown. So I heard the brown hooded kingfisher earlier. Of course, another bird I just heard just now, the green-backed Cameroptera. It's a cool bird. Whoop, our Egyptian goose has just flown in behind at the pan behind us. And there's a pair that hangs out here. Cool. So the birding list we're going to do today is birds that we can see and birds we can hear. So if there's any birds I might have missed, please send me through the names as well. Even so, we're going on sight and sound. So those are the southern masked weavers. They were a bit quiet yesterday. It is quite interesting, I say. All right, let's head over to Old Donio, see if we can tick off a few more birds on our list. Ah, cool! What a cool bird, secretary bird. And he's in the water. Must be a hot day. Cooling those legs down. We've all got to have ice bathing days. I'm very much of support of the ice baths. If you've done a lot of exercise, lots of physical strenuous activity, an ice bath or a swim is always a good idea. So maybe our secretary bird was busy with some squats today, enjoying his leg day. So now he's cooling his legs off. And there we go. You can see just on the right-hand side of the secretary bird is this also the outlet for where the pipe is. So that's why the elephants are always so concentrated around this side of the pan, because they're trying to get that nice, free, clean, fresh water. Isn't he beautiful, the secretary bird? Look at that face. Beautiful colors. I love the orange and yellow kind of contrast of colorations on his face. Those beautiful quills. The long tail feathers. Aren't you beautiful? Wonder where his friend is. We've seen only like solitary secretary birds this week. Um, Sometimes up in the sea. There's another one somewhere close by. Chicken and drinking. So this acacia area is perfect habitat for secretary birds. They love to make kind of a bit of a platform nest out of sticks in these smaller acacia trees. Perfect habitat for them to breed. Generally, in most areas, their breeding season is August, September. Isn't he an unusual looking bird? So there's those long, thin legs of his, which are kind of impenetrable to the snake's biting. So even if a snake bites him on his legs, it's basically just bone and some blood vessels in his legs there. So he's not affected by the venom, seeing as snakes are his prime diet. To feed on snakes quite a lot, small rodents and tiny mammals. Oop, got a wagtail. Could be a pied wagtail, also on the other side of the pan there. He just fluttered in for a drink. So Jive Bunny, yeah, I have seen the secretary bird a couple of times, and I'm sure the one of these trees close by must be a perfect place for a nest. Because even if you see on the top right-hand side of the screen, there's this acacia. So secretary birds don't nest in very tall trees. They'll use this like medium-sized acacia, the flat-crowned acacia is perfect for them for nesting, and they'll just put a lot of sticks. So sometimes they can use the same kind of platform nest for 2 to 3 years in a row in the same area if conditions permit. If you've ever seen a secretary bird swallowing a snake, that's also quite an interesting sight. So they throw it up and swallow it like you're swallowing a piece of spaghetti. wonder if he's going to have a swim. That would be pretty cool. See a secretary bird having a bath. Looks a bit indecisive. I think he's going to have a bath. Come on, boy, have a bath for us. It's quite cool how the secretary bird uses those long legs of theirs to stomp their prey to death. So they're very, very powerful legs, and that's how they kill their prey. No, he's a bit shy. It's okay. Do you look like long-legged model birds? You do have a very elegant persona about them. Cool. Why don't we head over to Tower Lodge and see if we can tick some more birds off of our list. It's been quite festive here at Tower Lodge the last couple of days, I must say. It's pretty cool. It's quite a contrast between the very, very dry, rocky outcrop mountain in the background and this lush green vegetation in the foreground. See this elephant also coming to feed on the reed, so this green grass could be what's attracting a lot of animals to come and feed. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get some waterbuck on the left-hand side here. So we had a lot of waterbuck here yesterday. Pretty cool. See all these waterbuck also on these little islands feeding on the grass. This big elephant bull looks like he's already had a mud bath himself. Hello, Mr. Waterbuck. Maybe we'll find our crocodiles lying in the sun. Oh, shame. This waterbuck looks like it's got a bit of an injury there. The old bull injured somewhat. Wonder where our crocodiles are today. Where are our resident crocodiles? Okay, I'm completely losing focus. I forgot about the birds. So much activity. Looks like we have. What do we have there? There's obviously the black crakes, lesser moorhens we can look out for. The shelled ducks, I have not seen them for quite some time. I think they're no longer around. We've had a spur-wing goose that we watched early in the week. Looking very strange. He was dunking his head in the mud, possibly feeding on the roots and shoots. What other birds are around? So this is... There's a little monkey. We had some baboons here yesterday as well, also feeding. I'm sure the monkey's also coming down to get some nice green grass. Nice lush green vegetation in the water. Oh, this pan is drying up rather quickly. Oh, here's our moorhens. We've got, two lesser moorhens, common moorhens. Oh, there we go. So we've got two common moorhens there. An adult on the right, and I think it looks like a juvenile on the left. Oh, no. Yeah, two adults. Common moorhens. Scratching about, looking for some food. who I'd not like to be stuck in this mud. That poor zebra was really stuck yesterday. This mud is thick and treacherous. Fuzzy Dunlop, I do hope that that zebra from yesterday, I'm sure he's having a much better day than today. I hope he stays far away from all the muddy patches. Yeah, he was not having a good day yesterday. Oh, his whole face was covered in mud as well. So, yeah, all's well. It was a happy ending. Oh, I can hear some, what are those, common waxbills, or no, blue waxbills calling. Looking for the crocodiles, some birds. What are the birds? We've got some insects coming in now as well. The rattling cisticola calling in the background there. Oh, there's a wax what could be? Oh, there's our Egyptian goose. Also had a possible red-billed oxpecker on the back of the zebra. Nice to see some zebra at the watering hole today. Maybe we'll see our little friend from yesterday. Oh, and we also have a little three-banded plover. Check out the size comparison between the plover, little three-banded plover, and this Egyptian goose. He is tiny. Thought I heard a grey go-away bird calling too. Sometimes it's just lovely when you're sitting at these pans. Just close your eyes and listen to all the sounds around you. Peace and quiet. Oh, I can also hear red-billed buffalo weaver. Sounds like they're busy at work creating nests. It's usually a grey heron somewhere here. Oh, we had some baboons that were playing on this log the other day. That was interesting to watch. Oop, is that a red-knobbed coot? Oh my goodness, it's been a while since we've seen some coots here. That's pretty cool. So we've got three different birds here. I think on the left we've got two red-knobbed coots, and on the right I'm hoping it's a black crake, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that's really cool. First time seeing red-knobbed coots here at Towel Lodge over in Madikwe. And then this is another little bird standing in the shade, grooming itself. I'm going to guess that's a black crake. Must be quite a warm day if even the black crake isn't moving around, because those black crakes are like little electric children. They're running around all the time feeding. All right, why don't we head across to Juma, see what's happening at Juma Dam. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Two pretty, incredible birds, saddlebill storks. They must be hanging around here at Juma, because we did see them the other day as well. So pretty cool to see some saddlebill storks here. Juma Dam. Looks like it's a bit of a windy afternoon at Juma. Got a impala with what looks like an oxpecker giving her a bit of a trouble on her face. Saddlebill storks are giving themselves a nice groom. A preen and a clean while they stand and enjoy the afternoon. A windy Wednesday afternoon. Shucks, this dam is drying up very quickly, I must say. You can see a nice wallowing puddle just in front of the saddlebills here. A perfect place for warthogs. Probably one or two warthogs have been wallowing in that mud. So warthogs, rhinos, buffalo, elephant are loving this mud right now. We also have a blacksmith lover on the other side of the pan. Shucks, it's very windy on Juma today. All right, so let's head over to Victoria Falls and see what's happening in Victoria Falls. Oh, check at these guinea fowls. So we've got some helmeted guinea fowl having a drink here. We've got an impala that looks like he's being very much harassed by way too many oxpeckers. And there's a warthog also looking for some food. Shame this poor impala ram is really being given a hard time by all these oxpeckers. What this warthog's looking for. Doesn't look like there's much food to feed on there. You can see all the mapanis are very bare, not much leaves left on them. What's the time? It's probably just before vulture feeding time. Maybe that's why the warthogs are hanging around. All right, so I think it's almost time for the vulture feeding. So why don't we link to the sky camera here at Victoria Falls and we can watch the vulture feeding. Cool, cool, cool. So we've got some customers here at the vulture restaurant already waiting for their lunch. So it must be feeding time soon. So we've got a combination of hooded vulture here, mostly hooded vulture actually, and I think there's one or two white-backed vulture all coming in, circling, ready for lunch. So it's crazy how quickly this vulture feeding does take place. So once they feed the vultures, it is absolute chaos for 15 to 20 minutes, or sometimes even 10 minutes, depending on what they put out for the vultures. And then it's, then they all scatter. All chaos for a couple of minutes. And then, eventually the vultures start kind of numbers start decreasing. The warthogs come in after the vultures have all had a good feed, looking for anything to feed on as well, because warthogs are also omnivorous, so you will find them chewing on bones as well from time to time. Isn't it amazing that these vultures know exactly what time the vulture feeding does take place? So I'm sure it must have something to do with the where the sun is. Of course, vultures can't tell time too well, but they can definitely tell the position of the sun. So when they know when the sun is kind of at its highest point in the sky, that must mean that it is lunchtime. We've also got a marabou stork that's just come in here. It's really like a feeding frenzy buffet when these vultures come in. If you are planning a trip to Victoria Falls, I would definitely recommend going down to Safari Lodge for either a lunch or early afternoon snack, a few cocktails, and watch the vulture feeding. Check at them all coming in, patiently waiting. It's interesting to me that there's more hooded vulture here today than there is white-backed vulture. Generally, white-backed vulture are the prominent vulture species at any vulture feeding restaurant, but as you can see, the white-backed vultures are all coming in fabulously late, of course. So, yeah, they will generally get preference at feeding sites. The white-backed vulture, they're a much bigger vulture. That very prominent bill of theirs is specially designed for ripping and pulling vegetation. Okay, I'm going to be quiet, folks, so we can watch the vulture feeding here at Victoria Falls Safari Lodge. Fuzzy Dunlop, the waiter, is here to take their orders. I don't think there's going to be much order to this lunch ordeal, so let's listen to the sounds of the vultures first. This madness feeding frenzy. So isn't this crazy, folks, to watch these vulture all coming in? They're like little ants all coming in for a feed, or like a all-you-can-eat buffet that's been opened to the nation of hungry vultures. Very kind of them to put a water source right here. So I was wondering why that water was actually so close to the vulture feeding restaurant. So our vultures feed very quickly, and generally after feeding they will be very keen to drink some water, so they'll always find them near the closest water source. So we actually have a pretty cool vulture here today, folks. It is a Cape vulture, or also known as a Cape griffin. It is one of the most vulnerable of all the vultures. I mean, there's a lot of vulture species are either very vulnerable, but yeah, this one's very rare. So it's actually on the right hand side. It's kind of difficult to tell. He's a little bit bigger than the white-backed vulture, lighter in color. And yeah, the juveniles do also sometimes have a bit of a speckled stripe along the middle of their wings. Yeah, very cool to see the Cape vulture. Not often you see him. He's gone in here somewhere and gotten mixed up in the abyss of vulture feeding madness. So, Mindy, I agree with you there. I would definitely be nervous if I was that yeah, the waiter for the vulture restaurant. They all come in quite quickly, I must say, but they don't really cause much of a threat to him. If they get too close, he'll just kind of, yeah, they're not gonna do anything to hurt him. But there's our Cape Vulture or Cape Griffin, just on the left-hand side of this tree. So you see, he's got a lot more feathers than. Oh, there's actually two. Wow, shucks, that's pretty cool. Nice to see the Cape Griffins. Again, not common to see them. They're one of the more rare vultures. Marabou storks. It was quite cool seeing the marabou storks there in the mix. Kind of, yeah. Also trying to get some food here and there. But yeah, really epic. The warthogs, I'm sure, will also come in sometime soon. So it was really special watching the vulture feeding today here at Victoria Falls. We've got marabou storks are walking around, kind of like very wise old men, looking to see if there's any scraps they can pick off on. So Arnold, I'm not actually too sure how long they've been feeding here at the Vulture restaurant, but I know it's been kind of a regular thing that tourists have been coming to watch for at least 3 to 4 years. Um, yeah, it's kind of very good. And vulture species obviously are very threatened. We were speaking about that earlier. So a lot of vulture species are either vulnerable or threatened. So to give vulture a safe place to come and feed and drink at the same time is kind of very good for them. It can also help to kind of, yeah, there's vulture restaurants all over Africa. And when you do the World Vulture Day count, which I think is in September, I've done it quite a few times, it's pretty epic count to be a part of. Everyone goes out to their vulture restaurants and goes and sits and counts all the vultures. So yeah, I'm sure they've been doing it for quite some time. So yeah, very great. There's obviously a World Bird Counting Day, but for the specific species, especially like vulture, they have their own day where we all sit out and count the vulture. Count the vultures amongst all the different vulture feeding restaurants. Definitely is survival of the fittest and the fastest here. You take your time, you're not going to get any food. See how they all very quickly scurry about to try and pick up on all the food that is left behind. Lots of politics, lots of politics. Vulture are very strange creatures. I do a pretty cool vulture dance, I must say. So vultures do this dance. It can be like either a mating dance or when they're at a kill, a bit of a display of dominance. The males will kind of like flap around, jumping on their legs, and they'll jump and flap around a kill. It's quite funny, I must say. Um, a bit of a dominance display. It sounded like a Swenson's spurfowl calling there. I find it super fascinating just watching these vultures interacting with one another. They're very strange creatures. But vulture are a very important and crucial part of the circle of life. Um, Yeah, vultures help to reduce the parasites in the environment. So very important to have vultures around. So in areas where you don't have as many vultures, you'll have a lot more carcasses, kind of getting rotten, a lot more parasites. So they are very important. They are like the garbage disposal system of the natural environment. They really do eat and get rid of a lot of nasty things out there. And vultures' legs, they actually defecate on their legs, and this helps to form like a protective barrier or almost like a disinfective layer on their legs. So when they're feeding at a kill, that they can't get any infections from any parasites at the kill site. So I thought that was pretty cool. They use their uric acid excrements to protect their legs from bacteria. Cool. So since we have Black Eagle on our minds today, let's head over to Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens here in Little Falls and see if we can see our black eagles. All right, folks. So if you haven't been to the Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens, I really suggest you do, especially at this time. The nest there is a pair of nesting black eagles here that actually have a chick at the moment. I'm just trying to see where the nest is. Perfect place for these black eagles to nest is within these cliffs here. If we have a bit of patience, keep a lookout, we will be able to see one of the parents coming into the nest site. So the black eagles are monogamous and do form pairs, and they generally in some areas can nest between January and April. So what are we, August now? But I know a lot of kind of bigger birds of prey also nest between August to November, especially vultures. It's a peak nesting time for them. And generally they'll lay at least one or two eggs. Their success rate is very low, so generally only one chick actually survives. So where is this nest? So they have a one cliff that they do nest on, and I saw two nesting sites last time I was there. But there's not something moving down here. Kind of a possible nesting site at the top here of the screen, top right. Or maybe down here on the bottom right, but struggling to see where this nest is. So they had a little chick that actually hatched about 2 weeks ago. So there should be a little baby black eagle somewhere in these rocks. So Andre, yes, so both parents do sit and incubate the eggs. Obviously the female is the one that spends most of her time incubating and sitting on the eggs. But it's quite interesting. The black eagle have an incredible courtship display, which involves kind of their deep dives and lots of folded wings. So they'll fly up very high and dive down, fold their wings, lots of swooping and kind of U-shaped kind of patterns and designs that they make as they kind of fall down into the cliffs and then swoop up into the sky. So incredible courtship display. The incubation period of these eggs are anything between about 35 to 40 days that the mother and father will kind of co-incubate the eggs here. And yeah, black eagle are considered threatened and uncommon, and of course their kind of numbers are dwindling due to the shrinkage of the habitat. So these large-scaled forested areas that they need to nest in are becoming less and less. It's great to have areas like this that we can still monitor and watch and have individuals that are actually being protected. So Jive Bunny, it is great to be able to see this location. I know sometimes the camera does have some difficulty, so it's not always possible to see this camera, but yeah, where are these chicks now? I think it's yeah, praying that you see the adults flying in, then you get a chance to see the chicks. Oh, Lee Ray is saying apparently the chick is already flying, which is pretty cool. That's pretty epic. That's maybe why we're not seeing too much activity at the nest site here. Shucks, I didn't know they could fly so quickly. 2 weeks, that's quite a short amount of time for them to fly, but he could be kind of practicing, hopping from one branch to the next, kind of getting used to stretching those wings of his. That is our woodland. No, is it a? Sounds like brown-hooded kingfisher calling again. So we've really got brown-hooded kingfisher. And then there's lots of kind of swifts, probably lesser striped swallows that also love to hang out in these rocky outcrops. And I have seen rock duckies in these mountains too. Right, so we're just waiting to see if there's any movement or any activity here. I've been desperate to see this little black eagle chick. So we're just waiting for our zoomy to pan the camera a little bit for us. Maybe we can scope out, but it is very difficult to spot these black eagles in this area, I must say. I think I was in the botanical gardens for about an hour before I actually saw my first black eagle. So yeah, it was not easy. Ah, Jeff, it is. Wow, what a beautiful landscape. Perfect black eagle territory. So the black eagle will take those tree hyraxes, no problem. Great diet for black eagle. Often see these black eagles just kind of sitting on the tops of these rocks here. Can only really be seen as a black silhouette. Wow, look at this beautiful mountainside. Still some nice green trees. Having a scan, having a scan. There was actually a really cool video recently. Someone got a really awesome drone footage of some black eagle that were flying on the top of a mountain, dive bombing a leopard. That was pretty cool footage. It was actually a South African guy. Yeah, incredible footage of this. He was just flying his drone, and I don't think he was fully aware. He had no idea there was a leopard there, and next thing there was a leopard being dive bombed by black eagles. So the black eagles would definitely chase away a leopard from an area like this if they've got a nest or chicks, in fear of the leopards actually raiding their nests. This is a perfect rock here. Black eagle to sit on top. Where are the hyraxes? I know sometimes from this camera you can see hyraxes. Even at night I've seen hyraxes on the camera here. I guess the black eagle are doing what black eagles do best, and they're being a little bit elusive. This is also perfect habitat for some snakes. Oh, I'd hate to know what snakes would live in here. So I guess great place for like some like your puff adders. Oh, puff adders is perfect place. Puff adders love rocky areas. Your Mozambique spitting cobras. Cobras. Oh, this perfect habitat for some nice cobras to hang out. So when you're taking a hike in the mountains, please be careful of snakes. Always lift the rocks towards you should you need to lift rocks. And just be careful when moving around in these very rocky areas. So we did have some fires sweeping through the mountains here on Little Falls. I think it is kind of normal to have fires this time of year. So I know a lot of these I'd love to see these proteas all flowering again. There's a lot of proteas in this area. So it'd be great to see the proteas flowering, and I'm yet to see a malachite sunbird in Little Falls as well. That'd be pretty epic. See a malachite sunbird. So yeah, perfect hilly kind of forested area. The black eagle to soar over and search for food. So they've got very specialized flight pattern, these black eagles. So they're very well known for kind of being able to very slowly fly over the canopy while in search for food. All right. Well, unfortunately, we can't find our black eagle today, but that does not mean that they are not there. Why don't we head over to Tembe and see what other birds we can find over in Tembe? We've got Mr. Floppy Ear. He's also having a swim. Got our woolly neck stork there. So there's always a pair of woolly neck storks. Sometimes there's four that are also here. Obviously had a very nice swim. So it must mean it's quite a warm day over in KZN if all the elephants are having a good old swim. And you can see this tree has been very well used today for the elephants as a nice elephant spa scrubbing spot. Oh, he's giving himself a nice bottom scratch. Must be very difficult for these elephants. They're not able to scratch themselves too well. So it's nice to find a good rubbing post like this to give himself a bum scratch. Joanne Miller, this is a lovely view. Nice to see some elephants swimming. Always good to see an elephant pool party. Oh, he did not hang around for very long though. He must have scratched his itch and then off he went. You see this area is very well used. All right, why don't we head across to Founders, see what else is waiting for us over at Founders. Some Egyptian geese here over at Founders. It's quite a nice view of these Egyptian geese. I know we do take them for granted. Look at those beautiful pink legs of theirs. Seems like the male giving a hissing sound on the right. So I've actually just received some photos of exactly where that black eagle nest was, and we were looking right at it, but it was so difficult to see. Very far away, but it is there. Rather interesting vocalization of this Egyptian goose. So that's the male making this hissing kind of vocalization. So the males generally start, in a lot of bird species, the males will be the ones to start their vocalizations, and the females kind of just follow along. The male makes a lot more noise than a female Egyptian goose. They are very territorial birds as well, so that's kind of probably a good indicator as to why the male Egyptian geese are so noisy. Incredible how buoyant these Egyptian geese are. Perfectly designed as they float along using their little feet underneath their bodies to propel themselves in the water. So the Egyptian geese, they can sometimes walk up to a few kilometers from water in order to get some. They do generally feed on grass, seeds, and occasionally from time to time some rhizomes as well. But mainly their primary diet is grass and grass seeds. I wonder if there's any rhino down here at Founders today, any waterholes coming for a mud bath. Looks like a rather windy, overcast day in the Eastern Cape, I must say. Quite a diverse diet, these Egyptian geese. They do tend to feed on quite a number of different grass species and plants. Peeking at us through the vegetation here. If you are a wildlife photographer, I'm sure you can appreciate a photo like this. If you can get an animal through vegetation that looks very like dark and mysterious. So yeah, kind of gives a kind of 2D dimensional layer to your image. Yeah. Mabula was a great place for wildlife photography, I must say. No 2D dimensional layering needed there. Whoop, females plunged under the water. So, See the very different colorations on their wings, beautiful white as well as like a nice bluish green iridescence to the bottom of their wings. They're about to have a bit of a bath as well. So I love it when you get bigger birds of prey or even vultures coming down to have a swim. Oh, the male is displaying some courtship behavior. So yeah, I love it kind of when birds come down to the water to have a swim, they'll kind of like open their wings and flap their wings in the water, trying to get as much water as they can and all their kind of down feathers, all those feathers on their body. And he's coming to check us out at the camera. Yes, you are very beautiful, Mr. Egyptian Goose. All right, let's head over to Old Donya and see if we've got any more visitors at the pan. Looks like we've got another big elephant bull coming to join us and some eland. Some baby eland the other day, which was pretty cool to see. So Penelope Kenyon, wow, that's pretty crazy to hear that Egyptian geese stopped traffic in Durban North. I'm very surprised to hear that. How crazy. Egyptian geese crossing is very important. Have to stop for the Egyptian geese. And Sandy Franklin 69, good afternoon, good afternoon. I guess it is morning for you. And Sandy is asking about how two parent, I guess it's the black eagle, can take care of one chick. So yeah, the bigger the bird of prey, generally the more difficult it is to actually take care of them. Like I mentioned, it's a very low success rate of breeding in big birds of prey. So generally, most bigger birds of prey, even storks, will only have a small amount of eggs, anything between 1 to 3, and the two other eggs are kind of just an insurance policy in case one of the chicks doesn't quite make it. Yeah, they do need to be fed quite a lot. Even for the egg to hatch, there's a lot of environmental conditions that can kind of get in the way of the egg hatching. If it's too hot, if it's too cold, if the parents are away off the nest for too long. So even for the chicks to hatch, there's a lot of environmental conditions that can impact the successful raising of a chick. And then, of course, food. Once the chick has hatched, the parents then need to find an abundance of food to feed this little hungry mouth. So it's a lot more difficult for these bigger birds of prey to raise a successful clutch of chicks. So even just 1 or 2 chicks can sometimes be quite difficult for them to do. And in some bigger birds of prey, like example the spoonbill, they kind of practice what's called the siblicide, which is very sad, unfortunately. So with the spoonbills, they'll generally have 2 chicks, and at some point, the older chick will actually no, sorry, it's actually called infanticide. So it's when the older chick will actually kill the younger chick. Um, and that's pretty much just so that it's better chance of survival. And the parents will actually stop feeding and stop providing water to the younger chick, and this chick will actually die of starvation and hunger. And again, that's all survival of the fittest, because there's not literally not enough food for the parents to be able to feed 2 chicks. because they're so demanding. So yeah, you get all these different kind of characteristics. You get infanticide, siblicide. Yeah, shucks, when one sibling might kill another, when yeah, shucks. So all part of the circle of life, and again, it's kind of necessary. Otherwise, it's either one chick survives. Sometimes it's not possible for both chicks to actually survive. This elephant has a lot of wrinkles behind his front right leg there. I wonder what's going on there. Maybe he's got an old injury, an old scar. He's got very dry skin on the top of his forehead too, and on his back. He needs to moisturize a little bit more. Maybe he should go for a mud bath too. Sorry folks, I think we must have had some challenges with our camera. Yeah, the feed at Old Donyo is not always stable, so yeah, apologies for that, folks. We have linked across to Namibia, so Etosha, Ukukuyu Pan here in Etosha National Park. Looks like we've got a lot of activity, some elephants coming down for a drink, some oryx that look like they have had a lovely afternoon swim as well. Looks like there's a couple of springbok and some giraffe in the background there. I have seen a cheetah here in Etosha. It was pretty cool. I don't know if any of our viewers have seen any cheetah in Etosha. We did see a cheetah one day. I saw some lions in Etosha as well. But the cheetah was very well hidden. If we didn't know he was there and if he wasn't pointed out to us, we've never known he was there. He blended in so well. I know sometimes we do get crows here. We get the Cape crow here, which will be another bird for our list, but I'm not seeing any at this time. Often you get pine crows at this pan too. Some sand grouse would be pretty cool. Or we'll take an elephant pool party as well. I've witnessed quite a few pretty awesome pool parties here in Ukukuyu. Shucks, one day that there must have been more than 60, 70 elephants all having a lovely pool party. It's really cool seeing these oryx. Oryx look quite prehistoric to me, I must say. Oop, what do we have? Bird of prey. Oop, I think our Cape crows have just landed on the other side of the pan there. See two black birds. Look like Cape crows. Another bird to add to our list. Our list is doing pretty well today already, I must say. Giraffe are kind of staring intently. Two female giraffe and some impala. Oh, blacksmith. Is that a blacksmith? Yeah, two blacksmith plovers. Oh, we have a black-headed heron, folks. How awesome is that? Check over there. There's actually a lot of blacksmith plovers and a cool sighting of a black-headed heron. It's been a while since I've seen a black-headed heron. Another bird for our list. Pretty cool how the black-headed herons have that kind of two-toned black and white coloration on their head. And they also do feed on small reptiles, amphibians, and small fish as well. Yep, elephants are having a bath, and the springboks are also coming in for a swim. So we are currently sitting on 26 birds for this afternoon, which will be pretty awesome if we can get over 30 birds. I've never got more than 30 birds on one sitting live at the waterhole. Yeah, 26. I'm pretty chuffed with that. And we've still got, how much time do we still have? Yeah, we still have some time. So I'm hoping we can get over 30. If we can get over 30 birds on live at the waterhole today, that will break my record. On average, on a quiet day, I generally get anything between 21 to 24, 25 birds. But I think I've gotten 28 once before. We had a great birding day that day. But yeah, if we could get more than 30 birds, I would be super chuffed with that. Looking for any birds of prey soaring in the distance there. That would be pretty cool. Maybe some bustards. But, Alright, why don't we head over to Tau Lodge, see if we can tick off some birds on our list. Oh my goodness, we've got a lot of activity here. Check it out, we've got some zebra, impala, wildebeest, and our waterbuck are still around, which is pretty cool to see them still around. I was trying to think of a cool bird in Namibia. I don't know if anyone has seen the southern black korhaan. That's also a pretty cool bird you can see in Namibia. If anyone has been to Namibia, I'd love to know if you've seen the black korhaan. Very, very cool looking bird. Shame, these poor zebra, better be careful. No baby zebras today, so I don't know if we've got our same family here from yesterday. The herd that was here, the harem. Nah, this little one that's in this group is a little bit too big to be our baby from yesterday. The black. Nope, looks like we could have a cormorant. What is this on the right? What's something there? Got our red-knobbed coots are still around. Nope, that's a hammerkop. I think we've got a hammerkop on the far right-hand side of the screen there, which would be pretty epic. That'll be a new bird for our list. Never seen a hammerkop here, but with this water drying out, makes a quite perfect habitat for a lot of frogs. So, wouldn't be surprised. Is it a hammerkop or a cormorant? What are you? It could be a cormorant. Oh, no, it's a hammerkop. Hello, Mr. Hammerkop. Welcome to Tower Lodge. Don't know if any of our viewers have seen a hammerkop here before. It's my first time seeing a hammerkop. This zebra has pretty cool colors. He almost looks yellow. The zebra must be very careful not to get stuck in the mud. And we haven't seen our crocodiles today yet. Or our spur-winged goose. Wonder where he is. Looks like a perfect habitat also for some, wouldn't be surprised if you get some red-crested korhaans here. Kind of perfect habitat for them as well. This pan surely is drying up quite quickly. Ooh, white bird just over there. That, oops, some warthogs having a nice, oh, blacksmith cover. Had some warthogs having a good scrub-a-dub. Oh, Egyptian goose. I love the aquatic birds that you get here, the water birds, really epic. Some waterfowl. Got a little sandpiper. Not sure which sandpiper this is. I've seen him a few times, but Let's have a look. Seen him a few days in a row here. It could be either the common sandpiper or the green sandpiper. I'm going to go with green sandpiper because he's got a white belly. He's got a brown on the top. I think I saw yesterday that did have a bit of a yellow bill. Habitat looks about right. So we've got a green sandpiper there next to an Egyptian goose. Also is giving himself a bit of a clean. So these green sandpipers do generally breed in clearings and marshy areas or wet forested woodland, and they are migrants. They do often occur across a wide variety of areas, from fresh to brackish wetland habitats. Do love muddy shorelines, and they are generally found singly or in small groups. These warthogs look like they've come for a nice midday mud bath on this nice cool Wednesday afternoon. Just having a scan to see if we can find any more birds. I'm surprised our crocodiles haven't started laying on this bank here. This would be a perfect sun bathing bank. Nice to see some vervet monkeys coming down today as well. This green grass is attracting a lot of different species. And also really nice to see those waterbuck. All right, why don't we go and check out a new location and see what's happening at Rosie's Pan. Oh, we have a starling. It's like a Cape starling. Shame he looks very hot. So birds don't sweat like we do. So a way that birds have to cool themselves down, besides obviously getting in the water and having a little water bath, is known as gula flapping. So they'll open their bill like that and kind of like pant. And that's a good way for them to cool themselves down. Shame. You know that it's going to be a hot day when you see the birds gula flapping. Yeah, so it looks like the Cape glossy starling, which is one of the medium-sized starlings. Always love that iridescent bluish green coloration. We do have these ear patches and generally kind of greenish flanks. So the legs are a bit of a greenish color, and you can find them in pairs or in small groups. And they do feed on the ground and also on trees from time to time. Mostly what they feed on is fruits and insects, and there can be a bit of nonsense at some camps. It can cause a bit of a nuisance. They do like to clean up after people as well, so they do tame down very quickly, and you'll find them in a lot of national parks at the campsites, kind of waiting to pick up on some crumbs left of a sandwich. So we are at bird number 29 with this Cape glossy starling. So we are waiting for one more bird to hit a record for the day of my birding list. For Live at the Waterhole, we can hit 30 birds. We would have broken my record. And yeah, that would be pretty cool. It's been a really good birding day today, I must say. It's great to see the vulture restaurant and the vultures being fed. The starling's also shame. I think he's trying not to move around too much because it's so hot. Love that bright yellow eye of his. Looks like he's scurrying around looking for some food. I've actually got a call of this Cape Starling that I'll try and play for you. Let's have a listen to the call of this Cape Starling. Oh, sorry, folks. Looks like we lost our feed there at Rosie's Pan for a bit. We are back in Okukuyu over in Etosha, Namibia. It's scorching Namibia. It's probably some quite unbearable temperatures at the moment. I believe it's hitting between 42 to 45, 46 degrees at the moment in Namibia. So it's a very, very warm. Oof. Lots of dust. No rain. Dying for the rains to come in November, December. And we were just talking about earlier the black korhan. Be a pretty cool bird to see here in Namibia. So yeah, the black coron is a pretty cool bird, I must say. The males are very striking in color. They do have these bright yellow legs, very cool black underbelly and black head, with some white dots and a red bill. Very cool looking birds. The female's generally just black on the underbelly and finely barred. She's not as pretty as the male. You'll generally find them in pairs or in solitary individuals. Elephant bulls are having such a lovely afternoon. Take it easy, taking it slow, enjoying the water. It's crazy how the tusks of these elephants here in Etosha are much smaller and stumpy compared to those in like Tembe, where we've just come from today as well. Could be a lacking of minerals in the soil here, excess of salt. We are looking for one more bird, folks, to beat our record for the day. One or two. If you can hear any birds that I'm missing, please feel free to let me know. I've got some blackness plovers that are already on our list here. Here, the buffalo weavers calling, which is also already on our list. Right, let's go and check out one of our new cameras, the Toro camera in Kenya. Ooh, got some new birds here. Those look like a red-billed aquila. That'd be pretty cool to see some red-billed aquila. So this is one of our new cameras, Lentore, over in Kenya. It's kind of a bit more west from Ukukuyu, where we were kind of previously. No, sorry, Oldonyo. So it's kind of west from where Oldonyo is based. Ooh, there's a cool wax bill there. What wax bill do we have there? Ah. It could be a 5-inch of some sort. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's see what 5 inches they get over in Kenya. I'm pretty sure we've got 2 new birds to add to the list. Yeah, I'm just going to check my birding app to see what 5 inches they get in Kenya. Quite brightly colored. Could have been a red-billed 5-inch. That looks like a female. Got a red bill as well. Kind of red tip to the tail. So yeah, pretty cool. Red-billed 5-finch comes in at bird number 30 on our list. So we've broken our record from the day. I'm super excited. And we're coming in at number 31 is a red-billed quelea. So pretty cool to have 2 new birds to add to our list. Perfect little habitat for these smaller birds to come in and drink in peace. They don't have to worry about the bigger predatory birds hawking in to kill, to kind of catch them and eat them for a snack. So yeah, pretty cool little spot here. So we are hitting 31 bird species for this afternoon. It's been a really great birding day. We've been super lucky. Lots of really cool birds. And here, all of those 5-finches. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks, we had our feed freezing a little bit there, so we just had to link back to Ukukuyu. Let's look at this elephant. He's got his trunk in the water. Lots of yellow-billed hornbills here. Red-billed hornbills as well. I think I saw Bradfield's hornbill when I was in Namibia too, so that would be pretty cool to see some hornbills flying over. Look at these gentle giants. Maybe if we're lucky, the giraffe will come down to join us for a drink. And I think this is a perfect time to just have a bit of a quiet moment, reflect on your day, reflect on your week, and enjoy this beautiful scenery that is in front of us with these big elephant bulls and our giraffe. Alright, folks, let's head over to Tembe and see what's waiting for us in Tembe Elephant Park. So it looks like we've got a few more elephant bulls that have come in for a visit this afternoon. So a few questions have come through. So Mrs. Jason Voorheesy. Yes, California, you do have 5 inches. So yeah, if you get 5 inches, quite a lot of different countries all over the world. And Catherine, thank you for your hardy-dar. I've just added to my list. I think there's a white bird, which could be a great white egret, also on the other side of the bank there that the elephant is kind of chasing closer to the water. There we go. Great white egret. So we're adding hard down. Great white egret to our list. We are doing very well on the birding front today. Just heard our little three-banded plover flying over the water there. What other water bird is that? We don't have a grey heron for today. I think that could be a grey heron that's just chased the egret. We had a black-headed heron, but now we have a grey heron also on the left-hand side. So we put our little bee eaters are on the list as well. Catherine, glad to hear that you have seen the black coron all over the Kalahari. So such a cool bird to see, very small little bird. And yeah, I do like that color contrast of the black and the yellow. It's a red bill. It's a very cool bird to see. So we're talking about big birds of prey today, kind of our topic of the day. And it's incredible. So many of these bigger birds of prey have kind of incredible creatures that have evolved and adapted in order to hunt and survive. Here's our grey heron on the left. Got some warthogs. So these big birds of prey will generally have longer lifespans. So a lot of these bigger birds of prey. So when we say big birds of prey today, we're talking about, like, for example, our black eagle that we were looking for earlier. A lot of your bigger storks, your vultures, and all your bigger eagles. So generally have longer lifespans. So some of them can live over 30 years. I know that African fish eagle also has a very long lifespan. Some of these big birds of prey, like vulture, for example, have also had to adapt to migrating, just like the osprey will migrate thousands of kilometers annually between their breeding spot and their winter grounds. These bigger birds of prey, or kind of small, a lot of owls and your smaller predatory birds have also adapted to become silent hunters, and are known for flying silently through the air as they catch their prey by surprise. So yeah, very cool how owls have learned to hunt like this as well. Very soft feathers, and that kind of assists in their very smooth flight. A lot of these bigger birds will also be monogamous. Oh, we have an African jacana, folks. That's a new one for the day. There's a little African jacana, or Jesus bird, and a big elephant. So yeah, we're talking about this afternoon big birds of prey and their adaptations in order to survive in the environment. They'll also have very sharp vision. So these big birds of prey have exceptionally good eyesight and can sometimes see up to 8 times sharper than that of a human's eye. So they can spot their prey from very far distances. They have evolved to having very diverse diets. So some of these birds of prey will feed on small mammals, other birds, fish, reptiles, insects, all depending on their species. They have very powerful beaks and talons in order to be strong enough to kind of catch their prey, raise sharp talons for tearing flesh, and they've become top predator birds, apex birds, and they fill a very important part in the food chain, play a very vital role. Just like this elephant does. Elephants are like gardeners of Africa. So very important part of the circle of life, these elephants. So elephants are very important seed dispersers. So For example, in some places in Gabon, where you no longer get forest elephants anymore, they are noticing that some of the kind of flagships key species in the forest that used to occur in these regions no longer occur there anymore because elephants have been known to be very important as seed dispersers. So yeah, they eat seeds of trees and fruit and then disperse them into different areas. So if you don't have elephants munching away and feeding on all kinds of plants and vegetation and seeds, there's a lot of fruit that are specially adapted to surviving an elephant's digestive system, and without an elephant going through this elephant's stomach, they would not be able to propagate. So, elephants play a very important role in the circle of life. You can hear our brown-hooded kingfisher calling again. He's not in his same spot he's been the last couple of days. Sounds like he's somewhere on the other side of the dam. And this big elephant bull is enjoying a nice acacia snack. You can see where there's a bit of a depression here where a lot of elephants have been coming and feeding on the same acacia and slipping in the mud a little bit. Currently sitting on 35 bird species for the day, folks. So if you can hear or see any other birds that I might have missed, please send them through. Send the names of the birds so that I can add it to our list for the day. 35 is a pretty good record. So before today, my record was about 28 bird species. So pretty happy with 35 birds for the day. Looks like we've got our warthogs that are scurrying about there on the other side of the bank, feeding on the nice lush green, probably roots of the grass there. Egyptian geese, our impala, also getting some seeking refuge in the shade. Oh, a big elephant having a nice dust bath. And I'm surprised, I'm looking out for our pied kingfisher. Occasionally I've seen a pied kingfisher on the lower hanging branches of this tree. Looking to make a kill, catch some fish. But I'm not seeing our little pied kingfisher today. My grey heron is still down there by the water's edge. It'd be cool if we could see a little raptor, cool bird of prey. Shikra would be cool, a little shikra or sparrowhawk. Oh, there's a nyala. Hello, nyala. Young male nyala coming down for a drink, and some vervet monkeys. Hello, monkeys. Having a scan in this vegetation. Maybe we'll catch a little bird of prey. Yep. A little bit windy today, looks like. Another plover species would be pretty cool. Maybe our spurwing. Spurwing goose. Yeah, check out the monkey. Oh, he's up to no good. He wanted to come down for a drink and got frightened off a little bit. Young Nyala bull also coming down for an afternoon at the watering hole. Perfect shady spot under these trees for a lion or a few lionesses to lie under those shady trees. Always have to have a good scout underneath the shady trees. You never know what you might find lying there. Our weavers sounded like they were rather busy earlier. It's quite cool, different. So yesterday the weavers were quiet, not too much noise. The day before they're very vocal, lots happening. Seems like when the males are busy making the nest, they're not so vocal. And then when the females come by, then they seem to vocalize and display, hang on their nests upside down, trying to attract the attention of the ladies. All right, let's link over to Tower Lodge and see if we can get a few last birds. Oh, there we go, there we go. So we actually have two new birds here. So we got the Cape Crow over in Aldonio. We've got the pied crow here, and of course our spurwing goose. Oop, and even I think there's three. I saw a glossy ibis the other day here. I wonder if this is not the glossy ibis. So we've got three new birds here: Cape Crow, spurwing goose, probably the same one from the other day, and I'm pretty sure this is our glossy ibis. We are on a roll today with the birds. Shucks, three new birds, all just at the end of the show. Isn't that epic? It's like the impala also trying to have a bit of a drink, maybe even get to feed on some of this lush green vegetation. Shame there's not much water buck. Look like they've disappeared a bit. Sure they'll still hang around. The glossy ibis, of course, is known for its very iridescent color. So it is quite a dark in plumage, but in the sunlight it has a very nice shine to it, kind of hues of bronze and green. They are widespread throughout most of Africa, Asia, and as well as the Americas, within wetlands, marshes, and swamps. And the glossy ibis, they generally feed on a variety of aquatic animals, as well as insects, crustaceans, frogs, fish, and plant matter. It's probably going to be my guess as to what he's feeding on. Plant matter there. Nice mineral lick here. A little bit of a rubbing post, an old tree that's been used as a rubbing post, probably for some warthogs. So these glossy ibises have very specialized curved bills, and it's very well adapted, obviously, for probing in the mud and shallow water to find their prey. So they are migrants, and in some regions they do migrate, traveling very long distance between the breeding grounds. And our crocodile has come up to say hello. I'm looking for you guys. Shame it's very difficult for these crocodiles to move around at the moment with all this mud. Got some quite nasty teeth sticking out there, this crocodile. So this crocodile almost looks like his tail almost looks like he's got a checker's board on his tail. Quite cool. Such ancient creatures, these crocodiles. I don't know if any of you follow the wildlife photographer Marlon du Toit. He's a very famous South African wildlife photographer, and he recently posted a very cool photo, actually drone shot video of a crocodile swimming from above. They are such prehistoric dinosaur-looking creatures. They've survived for over 2 million years. Isn't that incredible? Such a powerful bite. So they can deliver a bite of about 3,700 pounds per square inch of pressure. Isn't that crazy? Jaw-breaking bite that the crocodiles have there. Okay, so our red-knobbed coots haven't moved very far. They've literally moved from one little patch to another patch. We've still got our hummercop here and probably our lesser common moorhen also grooming himself on one of the banks. Quite cool to see this hummercop around. I always find it how crazy it is how these ruthless creatures, the crocodiles, can be, but yet they are such good parents. The female crocodile will guard her nest very fiercely in order to protect the eggs. Lots of predators out there would love to eat some crocodile eggs, dig them up, especially monitor lizards. Very protective. Also, in the first couple of days that the little baby crocodiles in the water, she will also look after them. About 16 different recognizable species of crocodiles. I have seen 3 of them. Obviously, the Nile crocodile. I've also, actually 4. Nile crocodile, West African crocodile, dwarf crocodile, and the slender snouted crocodile, which are slender snouted, dwarf, and Central African are the 3 crocodile species that occur in Central Africa. It's a huge trade, unfortunately, at the moment of crocodile parts in Gabon. A lot of confiscated crocodiles are being taken away from people in the markets and reintroduced into the wild. Poor little dwarf crocodiles are, yeah, very much sought after by a lot of people and used, eaten and used medicinally for many different purposes in Gabon. So yeah, they're trying to keep that under control at the moment, so we still have these species in the wild. So average lifespan of a crocodile can be anything from about 70 to 100 years. Imagine. It's kind of like the similar lifespan of humans. Got our red-knobbed coots here. Love that white shield on their face. And then the males, when they are sexually mature or ready for breeding, they'll kind of have these red balls that will swell on top of their heads there. Have a last scan, see what else is out there. Shame this little black crake looks like he's got a bit of an injury on his leg there. It's a juvenile, maybe he's hurt his foot. Shame he's got a little bit of a limp. So all the lily pads also drying up at the moment. I know the stem of these lily pads can be eaten. I know in Botswana, in the Delta, they like to eat the roots. As I know a lot of the polars in Botswana will feed on the roots of the lily pads. Kind of like makes a very nice gravy with your tomato and onion. Only one crocodile today. Almost about to end the show. I'm praying to get some last few birds here at Tower Lodge. It is a birding paradise. But if we don't get any more birds by the end of the show, how many birds are we sitting at? We're sitting at 38 birds for today, folks. I'm super excited. It's been a great birding day. Maybe we'll get a few last bird species before we end the show. There's our Cape pied crows hanging out there. Oh, sandpiper just landed. The impala must be feeding on a mineral spot there because they've been in the same spot for a while. I don't see any grass and there's not much water there. So they must be feeding on a bit of a mineral spot. Got our common moorhen also roaming around. I'm sure this pan in a few weeks is probably going to be dried up. Alright folks, well it has been a really awesome day here live at the waterhole. I've really enjoyed getting into the birding side of things. 38 birds, pretty epic. Nice to have a look for our black eagle over at Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens. Yeah, maybe we'll get to see the chick sometimes, but that would be great. Yeah, look at the crows giving each other a groom. But yeah, anyways, it's been an amazing birding afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us and being able to experience and explore these wildlife locations. From me and the rest of the Wild Earth team, I want to wish you a happy Wednesday afternoon. Join us same time, same place tomorrow. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on the Sunset Safari.